Alright guys, what's up? It's Elev. Play Resto Shaman and Please Taunt on White Main. And we're going to go over real quick what is the best in slot pieces that we're going to be using or wanting to go after in Phase 4 in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So our tier, we're going to break it down real quick. We're going to use obviously our 4-piece. We have a couple options here. The absolute pieces that we do need, we're going to go for the helm, the shoulders, and the chest. These are absolute must-haves. They all have the spell power crit haste on them. That's absolutely what we want. Where it differs is we can either use the off piece of hands or the off piece for legs. If we're going to go the hands route for the off piece, you're going to use the unclean surgical gloves as your off piece. This has a lot of spell power, haste, and MP5 with the tier legs. If you want a more throughput build with more haste and crit, you're going to use the tier gloves. But instead of the tier legs, you're going to use the leggings of Woven Death. These are really nice tailoring 264 pants with a lot of crit, a lot of haste, with 3 sockets. So yeah, this is the option for more throughput if you're not so concerned with MP5. And it's really nice because it's BOE. You can get these crafted right now. I currently am rocking them on my Shaman right now. Very easy piece to get, but yeah, so you're going to use the off piece for hands if you want more sustain, and you're going to use the off piece for belt, not belt, off piece for pants if you're going to more of a throughput build. All right, let's talk about the other pieces. Going to the neck piece, you're going to want the heroic version of Blood Queen's Crimson Choker from Blood Queen herself. Almost every caster is going to want this in your raid. It's going to be very hard for a healer to make their case to get, because even the other healers want these as well. But good news, the normal version of this is available as a BOE. It's on your auction house right now. I know I went ahead and scooped one up. So I'm currently wearing the normal version on my Shaman. And this will do me for, honestly, for the rest of the expansion. I am perfectly happy with this. I don't need the heroic version. The heroic version is just, it's just like +7 of every stat. So it's not absolutely massive, but it is an upgrade nonetheless. But yeah, you're perfectly good just using the normal version choker. Going to the cloak, the Frostbinder's Shredded Cape from Valithia Dreamwalker, 25 heroic. Spell power, crit, haste on it. Extremely good. Some options if you cannot get this piece, especially as a healer. Athea's Intensity from the 50 chest is a good pickup. If you can find a GDKP throughout the week that can get 50s. Drape of the Sunreaver, which is the 10-man 50 of 50 chest. This is it's basically Athea's, just the 10-man version. It's great, perfectly suitable to be used for, honestly, the rest of the expansion. You just want to make sure you have something with crit and haste in your back slot. Going to the bracers, we're going to use the Blood Sunder's bracers. These are best in slot for every Shaman spec, including enhancement. So, but no one else though, because Holy Paladins do have their own plate bracers during this tier. So you should get these pretty quick. A good option for more sustain is going to be the Cold Wraith bracers from Lord Margar and Tin Man. Instead of the crit, it has MP5 on it. But yeah, those are going to be your 2 bracers that you're going to go after, depending if you want more throughput or more sustain. Valinir, same thing. We're going to be using it for the rest of the game. Trauma is pretty good from the limited logs that I've seen of it. Valinir is better, but that could change with our 4 set. Our 4 set is insane. Allows our chain heal crits to leave a hot on the target for the next 6 seconds. And those will probably be able to proc trauma. So we'll see how it is down the line. But Valinir will still be better. If you don't have Valinir, your best in slot is going to be the Royal Scepter of Tyrannus. It's from Heroic Lich King. Almost 900 spell power on a one-handed mace. That is absolutely nuts. With the haste and crit on it as well. Our offhand is going to be Bulwark of Smoldering Steel. This is going to drop from Lord Margar, 25 heroic. The Spindle from Council is better statted, but the Bulwark has a socket, so it instantly makes it better. So Should get this pretty quick. Just you, Ellie Shamans, and Holy Paladins. Another big contested piece is our belt. The Crushing Cold Wraith belt. Almost every caster wants this, including Holy Paladins. Spell power crit haste, it's absolutely phenomenal. From Lord Margar, it's going to be very tough to get, especially as a healer. But as a Resto Shaman, we do have a very good secondary option in Belts of the Blood Nova. A lot of haste, a lot of spell power, a lot of MP5 with a 3 sockets. This is a very good pickup. It drops off 25-man Deathbringer Sourfang. You are the only person that can use this in the raid. Holy Paladins don't want this, I think. Which, it'd still be good for them, but no sane LC should ever give this to a Holy Paladin over Resto Shaman because they have their own plate belts. Very good pickup. If you have the badges after you get your tier, you can get the Waistband of Despair, which is basically Belt of the Blood Nova, but with the crit haste instead of the haste MP5. Belt of the Blood Nova normal, by the way, from normal Sourfang, is BOE. You can go get this on the auction house right now. I've already gone ahead and scooped this up. When I got mine was pretty cheap on Whitemane. Wasn't too expensive. If you have like 8 or 9K laying around, which you can blow, I would easily pick this up. This is a very, very good piece. Our boots, Plague Scientist boots, spell power crit haste. This is going to be highly contested. Again, almost every caster wants this, just like the Crushing Cold Wraith belt. So I wouldn't hold your breath to get these. But a good secondary option in a more realistic BiS piece is going to be the Earth Soul boots. These are basically just Plague Scientist boots, just with a little lower stat line on. But it comes with 2 yellow sockets, so just throw some haste in there, call it a day. But spell power crit haste, and they are BOE crafted, so you can pick these up again right now. That's what I'm currently wearing from your local leatherworker. Let's talk rings. Ring of Rapid Ascent is our best in slot, along with Margar's Ari. Both heroic 25-man encounters, one from Gunship, the other one from 25 heroic Margar. Ring of Rapid Ascent is going to be a little hard to get. Again, every caster wants this. It's going to be hard for a healer to get this. But a couple good options for backup is this Coiled Ring. Spell power crit haste, just lower stat line off 10-man Blood Prince Council. Obviously, the Ashen Bane of Endless Wisdom is very good. I personally would rather have the more of raw stats versus the random spell power every minute. I can see the merit in having that random spell power. I would just on procs like this, I would rather be able to control them versus just having them randomly happen. So I'm more of I'd rather have the raw stats guy. But I see the merit both ways. If you want to use Ashen Band of Endless Wisdom, all power to you. I'm not going to argue with you. It's a good pickup. Margar's Frigid Eye normal is a BOE from 25-man normal Margar. You can get this. That's what I'm currently wearing right now as well. It is a little pricey though. So just be aware of that. It's going to come with the price tag. But it's a well worth pickup because we all know that some of these pieces don't like to drop. So it's a good get. Trinkets, Solace of the Fallen, and Scale of Fates. Same thing as last tier. Solace of the Fallen will probably never take off. It is a great MP5 spell power option. Scale of Fates, same thing. It's amazing for Putricide, Lich King, Syndragosa, Blood Queen. Almost every single fight, Scale of Fates is phenomenal at covering big spikes of raid damage. I do want to talk about a couple trinkets though, real quick. A lot of people think DFO is really good for Resto Shamans because it's just the raw haste. No. One, trinket should have secondary effects. No secondary effect that we can put to use on this trinket, not worth. And also, we are already at the soft haste cap in this gear anyway, and you should be pretty close to it now, especially with consumables. We don't need the raw haste from DFO. Althor's Abacus, a lot of raw spell power, but again, I want to choose who I heal and when I heal them. Randomly healing a target every 45 seconds is not my idea of using a trinket, or what a trinket for a healer should be. It's going to do 2 or 3% of your overall healing, which is great, but again, I want to choose when I use my trinkets. So that's why I like Scale of Fate so much. I can instantly, okay, I want to use my haste here and here in the fight, right? I want to be able to actively pump out the heals. I don't want to rely on a proc. A couple other ones. Sliver of Pure Ice from Tim and Margar. A lot of spell power, and it restores mana every 2 minutes on a use. It's like a mini mana pot. This is great. I think it's about 75 MP5. Last time I did the math on it, 75 or 80. Definitely nothing to scoff at, especially if you want to run a more throughput or a more sustained build. Very niche uses. I'm going to pick one up if it ever drops and no one else needs it. I'll probably rarely ever use it, but it's definitely worth having in your bag. Having a lot of trinkets as a healer is a must. And then there's one other one that I want to talk about. It is the Snowflake from Hall's Reflection Heroic. So the equip, the 11 mana every time you heal a target with one of your spells. This, I've been using a lot in ICC. The casting profile indicates that this is about 40 MP5. It's not great, but it's not bad. But it has the same use effect as Scale of Fates. So it is a really nice combination of a sustained trinket with a throughput effect, which I think is very underrated. I wouldn't go out of your way to farm this every single day, but if you does happen to drop, I would scoop this up. It's been pretty good for me throughout ICC. It gives me back about 2,000 mana every fight, and plus, you know, using the haste when I need it is very good. So it's a very good overall trinket to have. Lastly, we're going to be using the Totem of Calming Tide, same thing as last phase, 234 spell power when you cast Chain Heal. Totem of Surging Sea, which Riptide stacking spell power. We shouldn't be using Riptide all that often anyway, except when we were moving. So the only fight where I see that this has any use whatsoever is Lich King, because there is quite a bit of movement in that fight. Besides that, you should be using Totem of Calming Tides. A lot of people also think that the Totem of Shattered Ice is really good because it gives you like 200 or so haste. You have no hit rating. If you miss one time, you're toast. You're done. So do not use this. And plus, we're already at the haste cap. You can go over it, obviously, but there's no need to use a totem to get 200 haste when we can just be chilling with 234 spell power. So that is it, guys. The link to my Discord is going to be in the description below. If you have any questions about the gearing, about ICC, about the philosophy of how to heal as a Resto Shaman, because I think it's a little different than a lot of other healers because we don't have big cooldowns and stuff. But if you have any questions or want to learn how to play Resto Shaman just a little bit better, you can click on the Discord link in my description, and we should be able to help you out here. Got a lot of good stuff, like if you want my UI, got my grid in there, etc. So just stop on by if you have any questions.